Hello bookish friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Rain and today I'm going to be revisiting some of my soft DNFs. A soft DNF for me is a book that wasn't right for me at the time. I genuinely thought I was going to revisit someday, or I was really on the verge of DNFing it but I just felt guilty about it. It's either or multiple of those things, and today I'm going to be going back and rereading some of those books or finishing those books and deciding if they were worth a second chance or if I'm ready to fully DNF them for good with a clean conscience. So starting off is Verity by Colleen Hoover, and Verity is a book that I, without even having read it, I have mixed feelings about because I know how controversial Colleen Hoover is and I haven't read any of her other books, so this is a first for me. I started out and I just really didn't like the writing. Just like, I got 2 chapters in and I thought, this isn't for me. This is the book on my list that I almost totally DNF'd, and I thought, this is a really popular author. Maybe I should just come back to it another day. Today is the day, so I'm gonna be trying to read Verity again. The next book I'm revisiting is An Immense World by Ed Yong. And this is a book that I really enjoyed at the time. The only reason I soft DNF'd it was because I checked it out from Libby and I didn't finish it in time, so I had to put a hold on it again. And this book I would describe from my memory as basically like a nature documentary in book form, which I love nature documentaries, so it's right up my alley. So I'm gonna listen to it and see if it is in fact worth a full read. The next book I'm going to be revisiting is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I have read Harry Potter before, but I'm wanting to reread them. I don't know why I'm dragging my feet with this one. I reread The Sorcerer's Stone last year and I just haven't gotten through this one. I want to commit myself to just really going in hard and reading this book once and for all and deciding if rereading the whole Harry Potter series is something that I want to do or if I'm good with just the one read. The next one I'm going to be reading is Inferno, a memoir of motherhood and madness. This is about a woman who experienced postpartum psychosis. The reason I soft DNF this book is because this book doesn't have chapters, which I just hated. I wanted to read it on my Kindle and listen to it at the same time, but I wasn't able to do that because the audiobook wasn't available on Everand until later. But now it's available, so I'm able to do that. But I don't know where I'm at in the book because there's no chapters, so I have to start over. Which is why I just haven't gotten to it. There's no time like the present. So I'm going to go back and listen to it. The part in the book where I'm at right now is she's in the psychiatric ward and just kind of describing her life and what it's like on a daily basis. The next and final book I'm going to try and read is Buzz, The Stimulating History of the Toy. The reason I haven't finished this one is because I like to read my nonfiction through audiobook. I really wanted to read this book though because of the subject matter. I found it really interesting, but it's only available on Kindle, so I can't listen to it. I was having a really hard time getting through it because it felt a little bit like a textbook, but I'm wondering if it just wasn't the right time. I wasn't reading it during the right time of day. I was trying to read it in the evening, and I typically read a more calming book or like poetry in the evening. So maybe I just wasn't reading it at the right time. Maybe I need to read it in the morning when I'm a little more sharp. I'm gonna go back and try and see if it does in fact read like a textbook at a different time of day. So those are the books I'm going to revisit, and I am going to allow myself to try them, and if they end up not being for me, I'm going to DNF them for good and not feel bad about it. I don't know about you, but I feel bad about DNFing books authors have put so much time and work into them, and I feel bad just not seeing it through. But some books just aren't for you, and some books aren't right for you at certain times of your life. So come along with me as I figure that out for myself. Okay, so I gave it the good old college try, but I ended up deciding to DNF the book about the history of blank toys. I'm super interested in the subject theoretically. The issue with the book is just that it's history, and I have a hard time reading history. It's just like not that interesting to me. There was that, and then there was a lot of statistics, which is really not fun to read about. Reading that on the Kindle, it felt like I was reading a textbook. So granted, a textbook with more interesting subject matter than some others, but still not worth me powering through it. I had like, I don't know, 7 or 8 hours left of the book to read, and it was just not gonna happen. Good morning. So rather unexpectedly, I powered through Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I had such a good time. I ended up binging it in like a day, maybe a day and a half. It was a super quick read. What I had been doing was reading a couple chapters at night, and I think doing that was just making it drag out for me, and so I wasn't fully immersed in the story, so I wasn't really looking forward to reading it, if that makes sense. I decided to just read it all in one go, and that was the magic potion for me, if you will. But it was great. 5 stars. Okay, I have a Verity update. I am 7 chapters in, and honestly, this book is really hard for me to get through. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna keep reading for at least a few more chapters, but it's hard to read, honestly. It's dark. It's really dark, darker than I expected. And I don't mind dark, like I like thrillers, but this one is just like making me a little bit physically nauseous. The very beginning of the book, and this isn't a spoiler, it's like the first sentence of the book, somebody's head like explodes on the street and blood splatters all over her, and it's disgusting, and it has absolutely no relevance to the book at all. Like, it has nothing to do with the book. It's purely for shock value, and I wasn't a fan. Like, it was a way for 2 of the main characters to meet, but they could have met in so many ways other than this random head explosion, which again has no relevance to the story at all. It's just really giving me the ick and making me a little bit queasy. I'm gonna give it like 3 more chapters. I wanna get to chapter 10 for some reason, just to feel like I gave it a real shot. But that's where I'm at right now, and I don't know if I'm gonna finish at this point, but I will keep you updated. Okay, next and final Verity update is I DNF'd it. I couldn't get past chapter 14. If you know, you know, but it just got really disturbing, and the manuscript was disturbing leading up to chapter 14, but it just was too much for me once it got to that point, talking about her baby, and no spoilers, but it was just really gross and yeah, just disturbing. So I did DNF Verity. That's the second I've DNF'd so far, but I'm hoping for better results from Inferno and An Immense World. Okay, so quick little reading update. I've given a go reading Inferno on my Kindle at the same time I'm listening to it on audiobook. But here's my problem. I want to really dive into the book, and over the past few weeks-ish, I've just been wanting to read like one book at a time. So when I'm in the car and I'm driving, I want to listen to the audiobook, but I can do that, but I'm not gonna be able to find where I'm at because there aren't any chapters. So I think I'm gonna shelf this on the Kindle, and I'm just going to listen to the audiobook. I think that's gonna be my best bet for actually finishing it. I don't wanna DNF it at this point. That's not my issue, but I don't want to keep reading it the way I'm reading it because it's simply too frustrating without chapters. I can't figure out where I'm at after I get out of my car. Hey friends, this is my next and final update for Inferno. I decided to DNF it simply because I just haven't been in the mood to read it, and I haven't been in the mood to read it since I picked it up initially. So I think it's fair to say I'm never gonna be in the mood to read it. It's just not for me. Hello friends, this is the last update of the video for my last book of the video, which is An Immense World by Ed Yong. And I did finish this book, yay, but it wasn't without its struggles. This book really is like a nature documentary in book form, and I realized how much the visuals in that kind of content really helps me picture everything. Like I need that picture in my mind to see all of these animals, and I need the slow-mo shots, and I need all of that to enjoy it to the fullest. And I noticed that while I finished it, I didn't retain hardly anything from the book. I enjoyed it while I was listening to it, but I could tell you nearly nothing about what I read. That being said, I did actually enjoy the book. I am glad I finished it. Okay, hi. So I have finished reading or DNFing my soft DNFs, and I have to say I learned a valuable lesson. That lesson being, most of the time I soft DNF a book, I actually just want to DNF the book. This wasn't the case with every book, but with almost every book, I ended up DNFing it. I want to allow myself to DNF more books this year. That is one of my main 2024 reading goals, and I'm gonna try and lean into that a little bit more. And I did enjoy it. I learned a lot about myself and about my reading life. So that's that. Thank you so much for watching. If you've watched all the way to the end, go ahead and leave this emoji in the comments so I know that you did. And let me know what you guys want to see. I don't know what videos you want from me. So if you have any ideas, if there's something in particular you want to see that's going around BookTube, let me know. I'm happy to make it. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.